basically just getting almost free money from women. There's no corresponding thing for men. Like, have any of you, maybe certainly you didn't accept it, have any of you received offers from men to money for pictures, even non-nude pictures? Show me your feet, do some stupid activity, fucking degrade me. Look, these dudes I don't know why these men do it, and if you're watching, the fuck are you guys doing? What the fuck?
Did you say received money or received offers?
Offers.
Either.
Both.
I receive offers almost on a daily basis. I've never received money from them.
I've never received anything from a woman.
No.
And I'm out there in the public for a decade.
Even just Twitch
no women
donations.
are like, oh, Brian, can you call me a 304? Send a voice memo. I'll give you $100. They ain't doing it.
I believe it actually when Andrew and I first met.
I blame men, though. I blame the men for this.
One point I debated was that no matter how old you are, no matter how attractive you are, as a woman, you always have the backup plan of finding a man who's going to be able to take care of you and never working a day in your life. But as a man, you do not have that option unless in very rare scenarios you meet a sugar mama who's going to take care of you. But 99% of the time, any woman can find a man to fully sustain them if they choose not to work.
Question going around the table. Have you received an offer to be like a sugar baby or to be paid, just a guy to send you money to, I don't know, not... Yeah, let's just do
Come
sugar.
to Dubai.
Sugar baby. Have you had like a sugar daddy, sugar baby offer?
I haven't. I've had the offers, yes. Lots.
How many do you think?
In like just
total, your whole life?
Oh my gosh.
Over 100?
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Over, yeah?
I mean,
over 100?
in general, yeah.
What about you?
Yeah.
Over 100?
Yeah.
Over 1,000?
Over 100.
Probably.
Like two. Like
two? Okay, that's still, you know.
Yeah, like a handful.
Handful?
Yeah.
Same thing, handful.
Into the mic if you can.
Same thing, handful.
Madison?
A lot now, but even even when I was in like high school, like I would still get offers like that. So it's like,
Yikes. Yeah, I would say that I've had zero offers, and most men, most men ain't getting.
I agree.
And not even one.
I hope
their whole life.
And if it is men offering that, it's usually gay men offering to take care of men. It's almost never the woman. It's still a man offering the money.
Yeah.
Exactly. I will say though, I feel like it also is dependent on like location, like the situation, because I know a couple of guys who have been approached by older wealthy women in my area, and they're like, hey, I think you're really, just a cute little stud. Why don't you let me take you out and we'll figure something out? And it's usually never equated to what most...
Sure, but again, this is the exception proving the rule.
Yeah.
Right? So you're pointing to the exception, and the reason that it's an exception is because there is a rule.
Yeah.
So the exception proves the rule here.
I don't, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Like, I've heard of it happening. I believe you that there's guys, but it's so rare. And I would also argue that the women that are doing that probably aren't going to be nearly as generous. They almost might even do it begrudgingly. Like, there's probably something back there where it's like not at the sort of willing level that men are going to be doing it as. And like, it's different. It's gotta be different somehow.
And you may disagree with me, but from what I've seen in the very few instances where I know younger men who have gone to, who are sugar babies to sugar mamas, is usually older women, MILFs, whatever you want to call them, who have a lot of money, are single, kind of desperate, so they're like, I'll just offer to pay a hot guy because I'm never going to get that any other way.
To a certain extent, I mean, from like the people that I know that have been in those scenarios, it's usually some hotter divorced MILF, I'll say, and she's just kind of like it's that get back. So yeah, I will say there's always that like hidden agenda in the background, so I do agree with you on that. But it's usually that hotter MILF that's like, you know what, screw my ex-husband, I'm gonna go grab me a stud and I'm just gonna walk around with my little arm candy and I'll pay his bills for the next however long. But
they usually don't last. It's like a temporary thing in most cases as well, from what I've seen.
Yeah, I've had a couple that have lasted. Like there was a guy I knew from high school that ended up getting with, as crazy as it sounds, somebody's in our school's mom. But it lasted for a good while from what we all saw, and we all
lasted past tense.
Yes, the only reason it ended was because she what we had heard was she was just getting put in a rut because of getting laid off because of COVID. So that was like why it ended. But
let's we have something that we're going to react to here that's maybe a little bit related to Andrew and your back and forth on our last show. Nick, can you pull up the I think the first thing is the news article. There's 2 of them.
Ooh.
All right, so we have Jane Fonda. You're going to have to move us to the... Jane Fonda claims she's only interested in young lovers because she doesn't like old skin. 85-year-old also revealed she is... Okay, that doesn't... Next. And then this is from the New York Post. Why ashamed Jane Fonda, 85, would only date a 20-year-old lover. Now, we have the clip. Nick, if you can pull up the next one. And then full screen. All right. Oh, wait, Nick, there's something up there in the corner. X out of that. Okay, go ahead.
You have to click block sometimes.
That's fine.
I'm ashamed to say this, but if I were to take a lover, he'd have to be 20. Really? Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
no, then, wait, hold on. No.
She's ashamed to say it.
Start from the beginning of video tab, please.
Excuse me.
I'm ashamed to say this, but if I were to take a lover, he'd have to be 20. Really? Oh, yeah.
Now, why specifically 20?
Because I don't like old skin. I don't.
I'm right there with you. I'm doing everything I can to keep it fresh, but yeah, old skin.
That's it. So, going around the table on this, she, a 85-year-old woman, she says she's only down to date 20-year-olds. Adult men, right? Any objections? Do you guys object? Any objections?
That's crazy. I think
your reaction.
I think
Objections.
that's weird that she seeks that out. That she's like, that's the.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the only like men that she finds acceptable. Like she doesn't like old skin. 20 isn't like that's way young. Like there's a lot of ages you can get.
I think it's kind of weird, but in my brain, it doesn't seem as wrong. But then I think about it, and I put her. If it was like a man saying it, I'd be like way more taken aback. I don't know why.
You said it doesn't seem as wrong as what?
As like, for example, since she's a woman, she's saying it, and she's saying that she'd only take like a 20-year-old because of their youthful skin or whatever. In my brain, I don't know why, in my brain, it's like, okay, work it or whatever. But then in my brain, put a man saying that, and it was just like, ew. I don't know why there's that.
So it's not as bad as if it was a man saying.
I think it is equally as bad. Okay. But in my brain, I don't know why I don't like.
Well, when you intellectualize it,
yeah,
perhaps you can like think about it, and then it's as bad. But your initial like knee-jerk reaction is not as bad as if it was the reverse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's you go girl, right? You go girl, right?
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think that it's totally okay to have preferences. It's not really something that I could see myself being into, but it's legal and it's a preference.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to start by referencing my previous debate with Andrew. According to his logic, there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. It's legal. Let them be happy. Do whatever makes them happy. But I personally, the only reason a 20-year-old would get with an 85-year-old, regardless of which gender is older or not, is for money. Like, they get married, they're gonna die, get their inheritance, whatever.
Maybe.
But I personally think it's weird as fuck if an 85-year-old, woman or man, only wants to date 20-year-olds because of tight skin. And I mean, yes, I find that extremely icky. Morally, I guess there's nothing wrong with it if it's legal, but I do not think in any scenario, any person, what is that, more than 4 times someone's age should be wanting to have sexual relations with someone.
I think your math checks out there. That's good. All right, we'll come back to that. What about you?
I kind of agree with Esme of like, it would definitely be a lot. I feel like I would cringe if it was a guy saying it with a younger girl, but it's still weird. It's a 60-year, like, all for dating up, which no matter what the gender, but it's definitely a weird gap.
If you don't think about it, it's like, yes.
I think it's kind of like, up to preference, which I'm sure, you know, a few of you have said, but personally I feel like it's just robbing the cradle, and I think it's kind of gross and icky. Like it just I hate that word.
I hate that word so fucking much.
It seems like just nasty. There's no reason to it. And yeah, it's legal, but what's the point? You're kind of just taking away from somebody's life for your own personal gain, your own personal, you know, lust. So that's my opinion on that.
Okay. What about you?
I think that the age difference, like the age gap, is pretty extreme. Do you want me to repeat myself?
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty extreme. That's like your grandparents' age when you're 20, if not even my grandma.
She belongs. Oh, sorry.
No.
Okay. Accidental click. What about you?
I don't oppose to age gap relationships. So.
Wait,
I preferably would not myself, but I have no opposition to anyone who prefers to be in an age gap relationship.
Can I